All right.
Good
evening. So call the meeting to order. So before we adopt the agenda, any changes or additions?
Am I on that you can do?
And I'm going to make one. So under old business, there's volunteer assignment of LPP community members. I'm actually going to shift that up to new business, and unless anyone objects. And you,
I sent a copy of what I was talking about, Friends of Donovan Square. So if we have all of the parks here already, I can just interject right in here. But I also sent a copy of what I wish to state, and I'm presenting a reso at the general board meeting.
okay, so we're going to put you in. This is a follow-up to the conversation with Matt regarding the Christmas tree lighting.
And also, if that's how you want to state it, that's fine.
Okay, so we'll put that as old business. So any objections to the agenda
I have,
changes? No? Okay.
No,
So motion, second,
I'm a secure validator.
again, you're adopted. So you have two presentations tonight. And just as a kickoff, let's just get a quick consensus. What is the end time to this evening?
Yeah.
And expectation of ending of the meeting? 8:30? Okay.
I would like to just add in on your expectation, that sometimes a discussion might go a little longer based on, time effectiveness.
Right, so this is a matter of, it's a matter of committee.
That's okay,
Is,
we're being recorded, I'm
All
good.
right, so would the motion be to end the meeting, can we go forward with that, somebody second it, to end it at 8:30
Yeah.
at the latest, okay.
I'd
So,
like to welcome all of our in-person guests and online guests. If you're online, if you could please sign your name and contact information into the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. And if there are any guests in the audience, if you could please make sure that you sign the sign-in sheet. We would very much appreciate keeping that with you. And then I just want to add one other thing. We need to make a determination as to whether or not our January meeting will be January 2nd or January 8th. So as you're putting your notes into the chat, if you could also let me know which date you would prefer, whether it will be January 2nd or January 8th, because it just so happens that the first Wednesday in January is a holiday. And we need to come up with a consensus as to when most people will be available, because we really appreciate your participation. What day works best for everyone. So again, it's either the 2nd or the 8th.
Thank you. The first or the eighth, right?
The 2nd, the 1st is a holiday. And the
So
first
we
is
would
a
do it on the
Wednesday.
Thursday?
The Thursday instead, the 2nd or the Wednesday, I should say Thursday, the 2nd of January, or Wednesday, the 8th. So please, everybody, let me know your preference, and I guess for people in the audience, towards the end of the meeting, we'll just do a show of hands. Okay, what's best for everyone? Thank you.
so in terms of attendance, we have a full house, everyone is there, so terrific. So if we can, let's make a motion to adopt the minutes from the last meeting and the agenda for this meeting. So moved.
I make the motion to adopt the minutes.
Right, and the agenda for this meeting, terrific. And we have, great quorum, okay, we go right to parks announcements. And the lead off would be, can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Awesome, so Leslie. it's
Hi.
showtime.
Great. Good evening. Thanks so much for having me. Boy, things are popping at Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park. We have a gorgeous concert coming up, part of the Carnegie Hall Citywide Concert Series this weekend, December 7th, Saturday, 5 p.m. in the theater. It's Don Sonero y su orchestra. Ooh, I have bad Spanish. Anyway, Don Sonero and his orchestra, 5 p.m. December 7th in the theater, all free. The following Saturday, we're having our annual ice show and Christmas tree lighting, Saturday, December 14th, and it is at 4 o'clock. The tree lighting is actually at 4:45, but it should just be a really, really wonderful show. Also on the 14th, we kind of want to line it up so you spend all of your weekend at Riverbank. But on the 14th, we're hosting the Harlem Dance Exchange. All ages are welcome to come and have free swing Lindy Hop lesson and then dance the night away, 6 to 9, with a live DJ. This again is in the theater, all free, all ages, December 14th. This year, during the holiday break, the school holiday break, we're experimenting. We want to pack the gym. So we're experimenting with a whole array of little kid and youth pop-up programs, everything from soccer tournaments to tennis, basketball skills, flag football. All the flyers have been posted on the park's website and been shared with CB2 as well. So this is the holiday week starting Monday, December 23rd, all the way through the 30th. Something for kids and youth in the gym every single day. If you're a senior, don't feel left out. We have all sorts of programs, including something we're really pushing this year on ice. We have special senior only ice skating lessons, complete with some special apparati to help folks feel secure if they want on the ice every single Wednesday, weather permitting, because it's an outdoor rink, 10:30 to 11:30, free for seniors age 62 and up. Um, so busy winter at Riverbank on top of all the rest of the classes. Last month, I promised you all that I would come equipped with all the details on our upcoming community garden lottery. The lottery is going to be on Saturday, February 15th. The doors open 10 a.m. The doors close 10:59. You got it. You have 59 minutes to get in the doors because the lottery starts at 11. You need to bring, if you're interested, you need to bring an ID and proof of your address. Those two things are needed to actually enter the lottery. One entry per household, and the garden has a total of 65 beds. Um, they're all the same size except 6 of the 65 are extra tall. So folks who use those don't have to lean over. We try to give priority to those for folks who actually need to not lean over. But again, the doors open at 10 a.m. You have to be inside the theater by 10:59 for the lottery. If you live in zip code 10031 or zip code 10032, you will be given 2 lottery tickets for your household. Otherwise, all applicants receive 1 lottery tickets. All of these rules, details are posted on the park's website. We're using social media to blast them out. We've also shared all the program updates and flyers with the community board, and they are posted. So lots going on at the park, including the capital projects that are ongoing. Our North Stair Tower elevator and stairway is still under renovation. It's right on track. All the surprises with that project have been dealt with. And we're still running the shuttle from upstairs to downstairs to get folks from upstairs to downstairs. The schedule for that is posted at the park in various places. We've got a phone number to call in case you have any questions about it, or maybe the shuttle gets stuck in traffic, as it sometimes does, and you want to talk to a human to find out how long of a wait it'll be. if there's another moment, I'm happy to answer any questions and just thank you all for loving the park and using it as much as you can.
Thank you. Any questions for Leslie? Good.
Yeah, at a previous meeting, you described the shuttle service. How long has that been happening and what is the pathway again?
So we started the shuttle as soon as the capital project happened, commenced, I should say. So it's been a couple of months or so, and we'll run the shuttle service throughout the life of the capital project. There are two destinations. It picks up folks downstairs at the park's parking lot, and it delivers people up to the park level at the traffic circle. Those are the two and only two stops that the shuttle makes. We have two vehicles, and the schedule is approximately every 20 minutes. But again, all the times are posted at the two locations where the shuttle picks up and drops off.
Sorry, and I don't know if you can see me, but just to follow up, what was it September, the commencement of the project? And second one is, where did they go? They go off 145th Street exit and back to come back up? I just interested in the pathway. And then do you have a running cost for that service?
Not off the top of well, for passengers, it's free. It's a free
Yeah.
shuttle that we're paying for. I don't have a cost off the top of my head. And the pathway, I can't tell you that path, and sometimes I can get it for you, but sometimes it also changes depending on traffic or road closures. You know, it's New York City, so things pop up.
Yeah, and the actual construction commenced, which month was that? Was that September?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it was. I don't remember exactly the date off the top of my head, but it's it's a several month project.
Great, thank you.
So just roughly, I
Sure.
use the shuttle, so they're white minivans and it goes down Riverside, swings in at 125th and then comes on. I really like it. It's kind of cool. So, all right. Also, any other questions for Leslie?
Leslie, as always, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Happy
Heather,
holidays, everyone.
Heather, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, Victor.
Hi, Leslie, Victor Edwards here. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thanks. How are you, sir?
Good, good, thanks. In terms of proof of address for the gardens, what's acceptable proof of address, just so they know?
Good question. Thank you for asking. You may bring a utility bill, for
Okay.
example, or a copy of your apartment lease.
Right.
Anything that has your name that matches the name on your identification and also
Right.
has the address. That everything
Okay.
has to match up.
Driver's license as well? Ouch.
Passport?
Yes and yes. I just recommend having, to play it safe, have two documents, your ID and then the secondary piece of ID that shows the address and the name, so that they match.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing, Leslie, because we have a Jinju on the Zoom also from the Green Thumb program. Did you want to speak to, the people who are not successful in getting a bed? Do you want to speak to that now, or do you want to wait and speak to that in January?
I
I
I have been talking to Alex Munoz at Green Thumb and hope to have a list of community gardens, Green Thumb gardens around Harlem that have open beds for planting to be able to share with folks. Alex has assured me that all community gardens, all Green Thumb gardens, accept new members on a rolling basis, but that not necessarily all of them have open beds for planting. So I'm hoping to have that information to just have available for folks at the time of the lottery.
Thanks so much.
All right,
My
thank you,
pleasure.
Leslie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mallory from the Greenhouse Community Gardens.
Hi there. Just to clarify, I am from the Greenhouse and Education Center. So, what Leslie was saying is the community gardens, but we are supporting the Learning Garden, which is at the Greenhouse and Education Center. So, um, while we don't participate in the community garden aspect of it, we are a learning garden. So we're a collective space, and I encourage you. To come to the greenhouse if you'd like to learn about gardening and want to participate in more of the collective learning garden bed. But the on since you'll all be at the park on December 14th for all of the things that are happening, the greenhouse also has some events. Our um, family pharmacy program is being taken over by our the young people in the Hort Greenhouse internship, which it's their culminating event. They've been meeting now this fall and winter and are doing a takeover of our family pharmacy event, and they are hosting a market bag giveaway, and they're excited to give you a bunch of free produce, recipes, fun how-to gardening and cooking activities, all hosted by the young people, and come away with your own market bag. So that's also on December 14th. That's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So come get your market bag before you do your dance class in the Cultural Center. Some other program updates. Speaking of our family pharmacy program, we've extended our hours actually for the winter. So our program is now 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, all our classes at the greenhouse are free, open to the public, intergenerational. Come and stop by if you haven't been. And yeah, we've got some fun workshops around winter solstice. We just are finishing up a salve making workshop. So if you are feeling that winter dryness and skin, we'll be doing more of that. Some other highlights we have are some wreath making, making oxymels, how to order seeds and seed keeping workshops, planting a kitchen scrap garden for winter gardening indoors, winter solstice storytelling, um, which, by the way, we welcome you all, and I'm going to drop all this information in the chat. We welcome you on December 21st for our collective celebration for any gardener, new or seasoned, who wants to celebrate and reflect on their gardening season. We're inspired by the Moth Story Slams and invite you to tell a 5-minute story of your lessons from the garden. And that's on the winter solstice, December 21st. Field trips have been going great here at the greenhouse. We have field trips every Thursday and Friday morning. And CB9 and CB10 schools get free field trips. So I encourage you, if you know a school who hasn't come to the greenhouse for a field trip, we have maybe 1 or 2 more slots in December, and a few more in January are opening up. So our spring, some January availability, come invite your schools for field trips. And I think that covers everything I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for Mallory?
Mallory, I have a question. Are you an arborist?
I'm not personally an arborist. I'm a lover of trees. I know some arborists.
Okay, because in fact, we happen to be looking for arborists. We have a delay in putting up our lighting on Sugar Hill, which is in your area, and we need an arborist to help to affix some solar panel lights. We're not using any electricity for our holiday decorations. Is it possible that I can speak to you tomorrow concerning helping me find a kind-hearted volunteer, and that's for everybody from the Department of Parks, New York City. I'm looking for an arborist to help us to just place lights on solar panels on a tree.
So thank you for that. I'm gonna leave my email in the chat, and I'm happy if you wanna again, we have a really kind, loving community here of people who are tree lovers
will
and plant
help.
lovers. So I'm happy to send out your requests and see who
I
um,
appreciate
who
that
might
so
connect with.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All
So I'll
right.
put my
Okay.
email in the chat, and maybe someone in your meeting can give it to you.
Any other questions for Mallory?
So Mallory, it's Veronica. I wanted to give you a thank you for last month, a resource for soil testing that helped one of our local gardens, Jenny's Garden, get their soil tested. So it's just a great example of how these meetings can kind of help everyone out, kind of, you know, sharing resources and moving little things ahead. So thank you for that.
That's so
And
great.
yeah, I was inspired by Leslie's programming during the winter break for local families. Wondering if you have any special programming while schools are closed to highlight.
The greenhouse is such a wonderful place to come when other things are closed. It's I'm not in the space right now, but I'm overlooking all of the plants living their best life in the greenhouse while it's very cold outside. Every Saturday, we have facilitated program from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and that's called Family Pharmacy, where we do things like cooking, gardening, kind of healing and arts and crafts and storytelling. But then the greenhouse is also open for the full day after that. So, and then we're open daily public. So come by and also check out the website. For all our classes are open to the family. We just finished a class, for example, on Wednesday evening.
All right. Mallory, thank you very much. We're gonna move on to Kaylee from National Park Service. Kaylee,
I don't feel that.
she's not on.
Participant list?
Participant list.
She's not on, I'm looking at it.
You don't, yeah, you
Oh.
don't see it.
Can you,
She's not on it.
all right. Riverside Park, Wesley?
Oh.
I did see Wesley earlier.
Wes is here.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hey, Wesley. This is the
All
first
right.
time we're seeing
So,
you. Relax.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you saying something? This is Wes Hamilton. I'm a Riverside Park manager. Thank you for coming out. I'll be very brief. I just have a few updates to give us at 142 Dog Run. That project is going along as scheduled. We should be seeing some activity in there in the next couple of weeks as we get some materials delivered. So I recently saw a list of things that are scheduled to be delivered, and they anticipate being on track and at the end of spring. So that's some good news there at that site. I know there's been some, looks like there's been some delays and there has been some challenges, but everything's on track there. So they're on pace to be open as scheduled. And I'm happy to say the same thing for Cherry Walk. The paving process is going along well. We're expecting that to be open, hopefully early winter. That is still bearing with the weather conditions, but that crew's been working very diligently there, and we expect that to be open very soon. With that, at West Harlem Piers, we have a big event. However, I'm going to let Stephanie with the Riverside Conservancy, who will be sponsoring and doing all the events, speak about that. And if anybody's got any questions for me, I'll be happy to try to address them.
So Wesley, just to clarify, a quick question regarding Cherry Walk. Are early winter or early spring in terms of reopening?
Good evening.
Well, we're
This is John Harold. I'm the Riverside.
actually
Park.
hoping win there, but we're hoping. John, you want to jump in on that?
Yes. So the completion, the scheduled completion is late March, early spring, as you say. But if the nice weather that we were having before it suddenly turned cold, if we get more of that, we will, if anything, be ahead of schedule. It's too soon to say for sure that we'll be ahead of schedule, but the contractor has been making tremendous progress, working very hard, trying to get it done as soon as possible.
I'll stop talking.
There you go. Well said. Thank you. Anything else for me? All right. Thank you, guys. Hope everyone had a great holiday.
Oh, wait, there's
I have
a
a
question
question.
back here.
Wesley, my name is
Sure.
Ira. I'm asking about the trees that have been planted along here, the street, I think it's 135th. Is that 130? Yeah. So there is absolutely no room, they're all new street trees. There is no room for catching water. In the past, when I've dug around trees, the soil has been rock hard, like clay, hard clay. And here the mulch has been piled up really high. But I don't think it's gonna do anything because the actual soil level is probably at the level of the sidewalk,
So,
which is pretty typical. So could you get me in touch with an arborist so this can be fixed, or I'll email you?
Ira, it's John Harold. Good to hear from you.
I can barely hear you.
And I'm having trouble hearing you folks, so I apologize. I'm aware of your concern. You expressed it, and I think you've been in touch with Straight Trees, who plants these trees. And they're going to address it. It's outside of Riverside Park, so we can't really, I can't comment on it. I'm not familiar.
Well, I know I've mentioned it. I have not gotten any reply back about it. So as far as I'm concerned, I feel like I'm being ignored.
Well, you're not. I saw a response, but maybe for some reason it didn't reach you. I will find that email and make sure it's forwarded to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Wes? Great.
Well, I just wanted to add, Wes, my name is Patricia Cornwell, and I'm the one that also asked for the arborist. I just want everybody on the line to know that we have placed this request a long time ago. We're trying to expedite this it's a very small square right there on 140, on St. Nicholas Place, St. Nicholas Avenue, excuse me, 149th Street, and we need arborists to put
Patricia,
just the lights in the trees. So if you can help, I'd appreciate your help.
you've expressed the request several times now, and we have you on the
Don't go
agenda.
with it. I'm pushing my point, and thank you. I'm so noted. So noted. Yeah. You heard that? You heard that.
I have a comment that I was kind of saving for new business, but
Okay,
since everyone from Parks is here, it's kind of useful to mention them now.
Patricia, your
I'm trying to address
Okay.
it right now, as you can
Thank
see.
you. All right, thank you very much, Wes.
Thank you, guys.
To Stephanie.
Hi everyone. As Wes said, I do want to comment on Holiday on the Hudson. Sorry, I'm Stephanie. Hi, North Park Outreach Coordinator from Riverside Park Conservancy. So I work from 120th to 181st Streets, and we have one big event coming up. So just one update for today. We have our holiday tree lighting this Saturday, December 7th. From 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. at West Harlem Pierce Park. So I'm hoping to see you there. It'll be such a fun time. It'll be a cold time, but we will have some hot chocolate, and the tree will be lit around 5:30 p.m. But it starts at 4:30 and ends at 6 at West Harlem Pierce Park this Saturday. That's all I have for today.
Awesome. Any questions for Stephanie or Riverside Conservancy? All right. Thank you very much, Stephanie. And friends of St. Nicholas Park, Karen? Are you with us?
Good evening. How is everybody? Just one announcement also relating to the park. We are having our holiday tree lighting as well this coming Saturday, beginning at 5 p.m. Everything is free, of course. It's going to be held in the 135th Street Plaza, right near St. Nicholas Avenue. It's going to be between 5 and 6. There's going to be live jazz music from an ensemble at City College Jazz Studies. We're going to have crafts for the kids. There's an opportunity to take a photo with Santa. And there'll be some cider and snacks and of course the tree lighting itself. So it's always a really lovely low-key community event. So we hope everyone will turn out and celebrate the holidays with us.
Thank you.
Hey Karen, it's April. Good to see you. I have a question, about the lights outside the dog run in the park. It has been, I think there was a tree that went down or something, so a light pole maybe went out, but it's really dark in that area, on that path. So just to highlight, I'm sure Matt's on too, but, there definitely needs to be some lighting over there. Not sure if y'all are working on it, but.
April, this is Matt. I'll follow up with DOT. Again, we followed up with them a few times about restoring that light pole as well as others. So I will ask them again.
Thank you.
Friends of St. Nicholas, do you have holiday lighting in your park? Friends of St. Nicholas. Park.
I just made an announcement about the Friends of St. Nicholas tree lighting.
You had holiday, yeah. Did you submit a permit to get that?
Yes.
And who did you submit the permit to? I'm trying to find out. I'm just trying to get information. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
So Pat, you're also being disruptive, so.
I'm asking a question and I think you need not be rude to me. If I have a question, yes, you are.
Yeah, because actually.
Yeah. I think that you let me know about the holiday lights, and Matt can certainly talk to you about the permits. And the issues. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we do submit a permit every year.
Every year. And how soon before the holiday? Like, is there a certain amount of time?
You have to do it at least 30 days in advance, according to the. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
It's
you.
it's all on the park's website, but feel free to reach out to me offline and I can help you if you need help.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you
your assistance.
very much.
Hello?
Yes.
Just to help you a little bit.
I appreciate all the help I can get from anyone.
Claudia, handles permits at city parks. She's very strict. And if you do it, I would say 6 weeks in advance, you get your permit. She's very thorough.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Brad, thank you, Karen. Any other additional? Karen? I know, we've been Brad Taylor.
Yes, hello.
Friends of Morningside.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. I just wanted to say that my colleague Clyde Brognan is in the room with you guys. I see him in the background there. Clyde, I hope you have a chance to meet him. We also have our tree lighting on the same Saturday, this coming Saturday, from 4 to 6 p.m. I have put a link in the chat to that information. We have a fantastic tree, which is a living tree that's over 50 feet tall. We put the lights on it, or our contractor Bartlett put the lights on it this afternoon. There are over 5,000 lights on this tree, so it's pretty spectacular. We usually get 200 to 300 people coming out, so it's going to be a fantastic festive event. We've got music and entertainment and refreshments as well. So that's the announcement from me. I did want to say on a personal note that this will be my last meeting representing the Friends of Morningside Park. I'm stepping down as president of the Friends at the end of the year. So it'll be folks like Clyde and his colleague Brigham Keener, who are co-chairs of our Parks Liaison Committee, who will be carrying things forward from here. So I would appreciate it if in future agendas you list them on the agenda for giving the reports for Morningside Park. Other than that, unless Clyde has something to add, I think that's basically my report. I don't want to take up people's time here. So I'm sure Tapashi will have other things to say about the historic Harlem parks, and it's been great working with her and with Matt through all these years. I see a lot of people on this call I've known for decades, including John Harold there. So hi, John. Yeah, so go ahead.
Thank you so much, Brad. We really have appreciated your input all these years, your participation. We're going to miss you immensely.
Yeah.
Please don't be a stranger.
Right, well, I'm still gonna be living in Manhattan, I'm still here, so, I may pop up from time to time, but, not in any official capacity with friends, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned a Clyde or someone, I don't see him.
Clyde, yeah.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't introduce, oh, you, okay. I didn't know that you were here. Okay, so you signed it, did you put your email address when you signed
Yes, I
in?
did.
Okay, all right, or do you have a card or anything?
Not a card.
But your email address, if it's on there, then thank you so much.
Parks email address.
Oh, so we look forward to working with you too as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Brad, I'll piggyback on everyone else and just say thank you for your service. And although it will not be in official capacity, we do expect to see you present. You know, you have that institutional knowledge that is so needed at Manhattan Community Board 9. And I just want to say, I just walked in the door and I'd appreciate it for the sake of community as we move forward, that we are very mindful of how we identify each other when we're discussing behavior in public.
Yes,
That wasn't for you, Brett.
no, I understand.
Okay?
So Brad, as you transition, we need like a virtual torch passing or something.
Yeah.
Brad, I just sort of met you, so now I say hello to you, Clyde, and look forward to working with you. Thank you very much, Brad. Any?
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, for all the comments.
Thank you for the fountain, the waterfall. That was great work.
Well, yeah, it's been a long process. And the Parks Department, put in all the work for that, so can't take credit, but we have been trying to push it along, and it's good to see that it's back again. I did want to say before I sign off that there's a presentation this evening, which we are fully supportive of. Savannah and the architect, designer are here, or at least I saw them.
I'm here.
Yes, yes. So we're really excited to have that come to Morningside Park. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Chris and Heather, if I
yes.
may. Brad, Victor Edwards here. I just wanted to thank you for your guidance when I first came on the board and all your help with Friends of Morningside, with the waterfall, and your friendship throughout the years. I look forward to seeing you at other meetings, unofficial capacity, but like you said, you're still a Manhattanite.
Yeah.
So your guidance is still needed and still appreciated. Thank you for all you've done for the board, for me personally. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Victor. Yes, it's been great to have you as a friend all these years.
Likewise. Likewise. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Any other comments? Thanks once again, Brad. Thank you, Victor. Tapashi, are you available? Is she with us?
I don't see her on now. Oh, yeah, she's on. Tamashi's on.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
just putting my camera on and my audio. Give me 1 second. Hi. Good night, everyone. How are you doing? It is the holiday season, so as they mentioned, Morningside and St. Nicholas Parks are having their tree lighting this weekend. At the same time, from Morningside is from 4 to 6, and St. Nicholas is from 5 to 6 p.m. I want to also take a moment to thank Heather for coming out to our Vital Parks event in November at the Chelsea Recreation Center. We provided information on Vital Parks and the Explorer tool that Matt presented on back in November or October. And then I also have exciting news for the Harlem community. Jackie Robinson will have a holiday market in the band shell, and this will be every Saturday in December from from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So come out, bring a friend, bring some relatives. You have family members coming in from out of town, bring them to the band shell. And I will let Matt speak on Mulch Fest, which is the end of the Christmas tree season, where we have drop-off points in Harlem Parks and also a chipper for the actual mulch, which is January 11, 12. So I will go ahead over to Matt,
So, Tapashi, this is Chris.
unless there's any
So-
questions for me.
Yeah, Tapashi, just like, Chris, a quick comment. I also attended Vital Parks, the overview with Chelsea, and then followed up by sending the committee a link to Vital Parks, and as well as Victor. So hopefully by today or this weekend, everyone will have an opportunity to work with it. I think it's a great tool. I loved it.
Great. Yeah, I think Heather did mention you were there, but I didn't get to meet you in person. So appreciate you coming out and supporting parks and learning about. And I
Thank you.
look forward to meeting you in person in the future.
Also my tutu also. Any questions for Tapashi?
Will you be present at the park at Jackie Robinson on Saturday? At the, where the.
I'll
the
be
street-
running between. Sorry, go ahead, Patricia.
No, tell me where you're gonna be. I'd like to see you. That's my neighborhood. And I definitely like to walk by and take
Yeah.
a look and see what you're doing. Yeah. So will you be present?
Mhm.
Tapashi?
So I'll be running between events. I'm trying to make the trip morning side of St. Nicholas. And I'll be at Jackie Robinson for some time. But then also, just so you're aware, I think I sent the invite out. The Jackie Robinson Museum also has a Harlem Community Free Day event at the museum. So if you haven't received that flyer, I'm happy to send that out again. That's from 12 to 3 on Saturday. So lots of activities going on in Harlem and then downtown too.
That's Lower Manhattan, the Jackie Robinson Museum. Is that correct? Because I
Mhm.
noticed it. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
75th Varick Street.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Any additional questions? That's it. Thank you, Tapashi.
I think Matt's going next.
Matt,
All right. So good evening,
Yeah.
everyone. I don't see representatives from Montefiore Square on the line, so I'll give them a shout out for this Sunday at 5 o'clock. They'll be lighting a tree up and then having some after festivities shortly after that in a building nearby. So please, Sunday at Montefiore Square at 5 o'clock, if you're able to join in there. As people, are putting up their trees and looking and thinking about disposing them, we do have Mulch Fest coming up from December 26th to January 12th. There's drop-off sites at Morningside Park, and Marcus Garvey Park, as well as a chipping site for Marcus Garvey Park on January 11th and 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we'll reiterate this information on our next CB meeting in January. But if people do drop off their trees, please make sure that everything is removed: stands, ornaments, lights, glitter, whatever people decorate their trees with, they must be removed, and that includes any wiring for Christmas wreaths. There can be no metal. It will damage our chippers. And for those who wish to dispose of their tree near their building, you can actually set your tree out on recycling days, and DSNY will pick up trees to be composted as well. So that's a little bit on Mulch Fest, and we'll reiterate that information come our next board meeting in the beginning of January. The basketball court construction continues to be underway at Alexander Hamilton, which that will wrap up September 2025. The Sheltering Arms public restrooms should be open in the coming weeks. So I will let the board know when those are officially open, but by our next meeting, they should be up and running. And then the 113 staircase construction continues in Morningside Park, and that's scheduled to be completed by April 25. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Hi, Matt. Can't
Yes.
go here.
Hello, Patricia.
Matt, thank you for talking to me, for guiding me through this process of getting the permit and everything else. And anything that I would have to say to you right now, we have already spoken about, but just for the sake of the meeting, I want to say thank you. You've been very helpful. I, in error, filled the permit that I should have done with the Department of Parks to the DOT. So I forwarded that to Matt to let him see that I was in attempt. That was a week after we spoke because no one was sure where to send to get the permit. So then I filled it out on the 3rd of December, and Matt instructed me with what I had filled out and directed me and guided me to the right site in the Department of Parks. My plea, I am pleading. We have a newly formulated Friends of Donelson Square. And these people have donated over $300. We have enough lights to put solar panels in 27 trees right now at Donelson Square. Based on the information that I read, we need an arborist. And we're not trying to plug in any electricity. We're not trying to put up a Christmas tree. We are sitting ready to do this. Is there any way you could help expedite the permit that I submitted on Thursday?
So the link that I sent you for the forestry permit, have you submitted that to forestry? Have you filled that permit out and sent it to our forestry division so they can review and see the specs of what lights are being wanting to be installed in the trees there?
Okay, so now, I'm not gonna lie, because my computer, went a little hinky that night, but I sat up late. If it's in there and it's on my computer will it say what I filled out already? But I believe I sent it. You understand,
Okay,
but I never received the receipt.
So if you have filled out that permit, I can help communicate with you to our forestry division, but that permit has to have been filled out, and they can determine what's required for you to put lights up in the trees, depending on the spec of your lights. And I did email you. I asked you to also send me the specs of the information, so please send that information to me.
2 a.m. this morning.
So I can help navigate the process
from
with
me.
you.
Yeah, I completed it 2 a.m. this morning.
Can I make a suggestion? Matt and Patricia, can you guys, you're captivated. Can you possibly follow up offline? Would you disagree with that, Matt?
I also would like to thank Matt. I also would like to thank the committees that did assist us. The Senior Action Committee who are on the line, who donated, I had explained to them that we could not accept their donation of Christmas tree decorations. The Girl Scouts of America from 3333 Broadway, who also donated decorations. I just want to make this statement because these people are on the line right now. Angie Ratchford, who cleans Donelson Square every day, a resident of Sugar Hill. I want to give thanks to these people who are supporting not only financially and physically to placing lights at Donelson Square. And I am now finished. Don't do it like that.
Patricia, if you're available, I'll call you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Hey, Matt, Chris, quick question on Alexander, 2 questions. Jackie Robinson, is it a Mulch Fest site?
So Jackie Robinson, does not have, is not a Mulch Fest site, and it actually doesn't have a drop-off site. The closest site, for Jackie Robinson is Colonel Young, Playground, which is drop-off site is at 145th and Lenox.
Okay. And then can I ask a quick question about Alexander Hamilton Park? I passed by. Is the entire retaining wall coming down?
The a decent portion of it's being rebuilt. But I think maybe like 80, I don't know what the exact percentage of it, but I would say it's, safe to say somewhere around like 80% of it is being reconstructed.
Wow. All right.
Two quick things. I was in the park this morning, Santa Cruz Park. The dirt that's on the path on 141st and St. Nicholas, they completely redid, like put a bunch of dirt on the path up to Hamilton Grange. I just wasn't sure what that was.
Yes. So we are having that lawn regraded and resodded to hopefully help with the erosion that continually happens in that area. And Central Park has been kind enough to help us with coordinating and working on that initiative.
Oh, perfect. And there won't be any closures of that lawn, right? Or maybe?
That lawn will be fenced off and closed until the lawn is established sometime through the spring.
Okay, got it. And then lastly, and Patricia, this is not meant to be like twisting the dagger, but I wanted to thank the Parks Department for helping us put up our tree.
You have a tree?
On Exco. And one for
Yeah. We got donated the tree, yeah.
So wanted to thank the Parks Department. It was such great work. The tree was beautiful. Please come down. 142nd Edgecombe. Matt, I'm gonna talk to you offline because I'd love to send thank you notes to the crew because they were awesome. Thank you.
And Patricia will talk.
All right.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
Any remaining questions?
Sorry, just a couple of understandings that I ask you to correct if I'm misunderstanding, and a question or two. The park at 140th and Hamilton is called Alexander Hamilton
Playground.
Thank you. That construction, I understand that the contractors were given a year to complete that work, right, which includes a large portion of the retaining wall, which I guess I have a question about, which is because it seems stable, and what is the reason for the removal or replacement of the retaining wall? But they have a year to complete the work, whatever the scope of the work is. I haven't seen that RFP. Do you anticipate, I guess the question is, do you anticipate them taking the full year? You said earlier you think the completion will be in September, but it seems like an awfully long time to complete what doesn't seem to be a huge amount of work.
So our park standard contracts are for a year of completion. The contractor completes that within, less than that time and is able to turn the park's property over to parks, we will gladly accept it earlier. But we do give our contractors a year to complete their projects.
Okay, thank you. That was my ignorance. I didn't know the year standard. Could you just speak slightly to what is being improved on the retaining wall?
So I can't, that's more of a question for our capital division, so I can look into that and get back to you. But I know that's if the work, we're not going to do work that's not required or necessary. Because we need to be mindful of our resources and funds. I'm fairly certain that it was deemed necessary to rebuild that wall as part of this project. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it.
Okay, thank you. And I'm not trying to nail you down. There are other pressing issues in that park as well. That was my only point. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
And hopefully this is just the, getting the basketball court and that retaining wall completed. Hopefully this is just the start of many improvements to come in that area.
Thank you, Matt. Any other questions for Matt, online or present?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be in touch.
All right, on to new business. Ian, are you ready?
Yeah, should I just stay over here and share my screen?
Sure. Do you want to? It's up
Yeah.
to you. What's your
Closer
preference?
to the microphone.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better.
Hey, Chris, can you look out of that thing and plug in again?
Is that?
Thank you.
Mhm. So Ian is from the Broadway Mall Association, and the Broadway malls are the medium parks that are from roughly 70th Street up to 168th Street on Broadway.
Yeah.
And just as a matter of disclosure, I've had some meetings with Broadway Mall, and Deidre, who is a board member, is also a board member to Broadway Malls. And exciting news, they just moved uptown, they have an office now at the Church of the Intercession. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, rock and roll, ready, Ian?
Yeah, we're trying to have a presence uptown, working on a 5 mile long park out of an office on 73rd Street. It's difficult. With no vehicle either, yeah. But, so I did a really similar presentation to this in.
You may wanna click. Yeah, move that down again. That square is there.
It's not on my,
There you go. Click off of that.
I can see all the plants. So I did a really similar presentation to this earlier this year, but, we are kind of starting a full restoration of the malls. And this is the plant layout at 83rd. We did 83rd and 164th, which are not in CB9, but now we are moving into this area, so wanted to come back. Everybody familiar with what the malls are? It's just a little brief thing. Let's move on from that. It's just an idea of scale. It's 5.7 acres, 5 miles long, so it's a ton of planted space, much bigger than the High Line, so we really have quite a bit of work to do. But it travels through all these neighborhoods, so I think, it's an important piece of the city. It's just to give you an idea of what we're working on. These are before pictures. This is actually 150th that was restored earlier this year. We kind of turned it into a native pollinator garden, but the cool thing is that we did it with volunteers. We did it with total community effort. So we made that into, and I have like a photo of volunteers working there. And this is actually 83rd. But we planted like every square foot of it with native plants, put up signage, started running educational programs in ecology and wildlife science. We worked with the Museum of Natural History. It was a big success. One thing I noticed is there was a lot less trash there after we did this restoration work. So it helped out a lot with that kind of sense of stewardship, trying to cultivate. This is 83rd actually, and this is what the malls we will be restoring, roughly, similar planting design, large drifts of wildflowers and sedges over here. So this is pretty much set in stone, so these are the malls we'll be restoring in the next 2 years. So 119th to 120th, 120th to 121st, the whole thing's, there are pergolas there that are starting to collapse and rotting, so we'll replace those. And keeping in mind that these areas are constantly used, people are always sitting on them, so we wanna make like the benches in the end, the seating areas as nice as possible. And then we're going to, in the next 2 years, we're gonna restore the rest of the like walk-through parklet malls. All of them but one are in this area between 110th and 150th. And then, so as part of that, I know we do the Sean Scully art installation, but it's not for everybody. So I like it. But what we want to do is, and we're gonna work with Harlem School of the Arts on this, hopefully, is get local artists or students to paint some of the hardscapes, to do murals and things like that. I think there's a lot of value to activating the space with local residents. That way it's part of that place and not just a top-down approach. That's my my desire to really see it, these places come to where they're better known. I feel like sometimes the malls are a little overlooked, or nobody knows the BMA exists and is trying to take care of them. Yeah, and they'll all be like, mostly native plant gardens, but we're gonna use a lot of plants that, sometimes native plants tend to look a little like weeds, so we're gonna make it really structural, will look nice. Yeah, this is right, this is 120, you can just see it's all English ivy, a lot of bare areas and this pergola that's collapsing. But this is really why I wanna restore these parklets, is that they're almost kind of in a semi-abandoned state. Like, they get a lot of use, but there's just and this one's actually good because people have been cleaning up. You can see the bags here. So 138th is not quite as bad, but if we move on to this, you can see it's almost a constant. And if we have our contractor or parks, clean it up, like this will, 2 days later, it'll look the same. So hopefully just by making it look a lot nicer, and we do hope to install big bellies in the near future that we have a capital grant for. It's just a design, the theoretical design done by Future Green Studio for us. See, there's way more planted areas, gives you the selection of possible natives we'll use. And they're attractive and they're ecologically significant for pollinators, bird species, what have you. So our hope is that with malls in this area, because we did get O'Donnell money, that we will put big bellies on every end cap, every seating area, and with that increase our contract with Goddard Riverside Greenkeepers to maintain those. But what else? Oh, and then so a lot of the postage chain fences are broken, so we'll be replacing those. They're about 30 years old at this point, so we want to get, renew that, have another 30 years out of those. Restore the condition of benches, that's a possibility with some of this money. It's just management. I know it's we're a 3-person organization, and I think this is why I really wanted to do this, is that we don't have the resources or the capacity to really continuously do this. All of our money is donated. And so I'm trying to build this with just community involvement, volunteers, to really build up that program. Like, watering costs $250 per visit, so it's extreme. That money will add up. It's gonna cost $64,000 next year just to water the new malls. Yeah.
My name is Savannah Bailey McLean. I used to be on the board. My organization is the West Harlem Art Fund, and I'm just surprised to see all of this. Many of us, myself, Yvonne Stennon with Cloth, Alita Palmer, who has since passed away with Montefiore.
I worked with their son.
I'm talking about her, not myself.
Oh.
It was women
Right.
who tried to take care of the malls, tried to raise money for the malls. It was extraordinarily difficult. And part of it was a lack of cooperation from the Broadway Mall Association. So what I'm saying to you now, that the reason why it's so hard is because when we tried to work with the Broadway Mall Association, there was always a problem. And it was very difficult. Alita, by herself, stood up to the drug dealers with a bunch of elderly ladies and told them to go away. That's how tough it was, dealing with drug dealers, dealing with a lot of problems on Broadway. Me and Yvonne started off with pennies and empty cans to try to get people to donate. If you call Yvonne, she'll tell you what we all tried to do. So what I'm saying this time around, I'm just asking that the Broadway Mall Association be a little bit more kind so that you can get volunteers, because there were people who were willing, but all of that has disappeared. People have moved on, people have passed away. I mean, just the fact that you're at the church. I used to be at the church too, had an office. The church wasn't very good to community people there either. And many of us lost our office space. So I'm just saying, this time around, I'm just saying be a little bit more conscientious because it's tough. You're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of elements. It's really hard. People don't understand. And I'm just saying, I applaud the fact that it's being, tried again. But I'm just saying, please, really try to reach out and talk to people. And so that way you can build volunteers, because I'm doing something on St. Nicholas and it's tough. It really is tough. That's all I'm trying to say.
We don't say.
I get it. I can't, entirely speak to the social history of the organization. I've only been there for about a year, or here for about a year now, but I mean, that's what I'm trying to do is I feel like a lot of the block associations don't know we exist or never worked with them. So I'm out, 2-3 weekends a month trying to
Maybe the
make
board
myself
can
a
help.
resource.
Like maybe, have like a meet and greet sort of thing. And then that way you start to build people, because it is tough. Broadway is really, really tough. And if you do that and show people that, particularly people of color, that you really value their opinion, then it makes it a lot easier because, some people, do remember and they're like hands off. But if you're gonna bring people closer, maybe a nice meet and greet to try to bring it up. And believe it or not, the folks uptown love Christmas. And they would love to do things, like we put the lights up there, Yvonne did it, put the lights up there. They really like that. So I'm just saying, these are the things that might help this time around, that's all.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I am, I'm trying to do that and I feel like we haven't done enough of that.
And that just, Annette was
Yeah.
raising her hand.
Well, just from a grounds, on the boots sort of perspective, as Savannah is saying, I live on 135th on Broadway. Those malls are inhabited by most of the people that live in the community. If you're out there every day, you'll see the same faces, older men, whatever. 138th and 139th was very known for getting their condos out there and beating them. So what would meet that desire to connect with the community is important. It's getting cold, so not as many people are gonna be out there, but as soon as the weather breaks, show your face. We do need to get to know you. When you're not of the culture, there may be a little skepticism, But when you come with open arms, that I'm not here to tell you all what we want to do. I want you to do it with us and add on to it. You can do it. That area is Spanish speaking, so whoever's gonna be there need to be Spanish speaking, and just see who's out there every day. They will take responsibility because they want to sit on the bench. It is green space for them, right?
So,
I'd like
yeah,
to, if I may piggyback a little bit more.
Absolutely. Hey, hang on, Liz was waiting.
Were you
Yeah.
I
waiting?
raised my hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I just wanted to reiterate what Annette said. Like, I know that there are volunteers, and those are really the first people that should be engaged. And I don't spend a lot of time in the malls, but I don't find any of our malls to be abandoned. I mean, they're usually beautiful and they're active with people, and yeah, people throw trash everywhere, but I think in Community Board 9, I always say thank you to the people that I see that are picking up trash in those areas, so.
So it may be
Definitely,
abandoned
definitely.
in the sense of upkeep,
Right.
but the community, people are using those benches. They are using that space.
I know.
That's how they gather. So
and if I
what's
may-
I see some concern on your face. So what's,
I'm up here quite a bit, and I do interact a lot, and, it's really, for me, at this point, it is, well, yeah, recruiting volunteers, but it's cleaning, it's making sure that these spaces are clean so that
well,
everybody
maybe
can
that's
enjoy
the
it, and so we wanna
disconnect,
help.
because you're worried about cleaning and we're focused on the people.
If I may
And they
piggyback.
come together.
I'm gonna take a little sociological view at this. In our neighborhood, Harlem is like a big little city within itself, with little towns. And within those townships, people know each other. They'll know your cousin walking down the street. And basically, if you've only been in town for a year, you're a newbie. These people in the area where I live, which is Sugar Hill, I grew up in the Bronx. But when I came and went to school, as I went to college at 17, I came to Sugar Hill saying, oh my God, I want to live over here. This is a beautiful place.
Right.
And I wound up getting exactly what I wanted. It is a sense of neighborhood, a sense of pride. And because a lot of times agencies, as she's mentioned, Savannah mentioned, did not gravitate toward us. These working class neighborhoods that you're talking about paid for their own keeping care. And this is what I'm representing right now, Sugar Hill, a neighborhood that upkeeps its own. So in other words, I want you to take a viewpoint of what
I
you're
think
saying.
we
You're the
want
new person
to-
on the block.
Get to know the desire to see how we can help. We put it that way, right? I think that's what we can do, because, like I said, we can come in and plant.
It's just what I'm trying to say. I did an installation
Right,
several years ago at Montefiore Park.
yeah,
It was called Renka. And beautiful Japanese artist who was able to massage the wood to make it feel like bamboo. Beautiful installation. It was in tribute to his mother, large scale. It was at Harlem School of the Arts first, then we brought it over. Parks at the time said it's gonna be set on fire. They had a lot of disparaging things to say about the people who lived in that immediate area.
And didn't know.
None of that took place. What happened was people were so happy. They were taking pictures every single day. It's that attitude, that's all I'm just trying to say. It's that attitude. So if your attitude is pick up trash, you're gonna have problems. Cause there's more to stewardship than no.
And it implies
Okay,
that
but
people
there
in the
is, but
neighborhood are dirty.
it's part of what, as direct horticulture at the BMA, I would like to see, and I consider it one long park, I would like to see the park clean.
Right.
That's part of it for me, but it is, it's also, what I wanna do is recruit, see who's interested in working on the malls, right? From whatever neighborhood they may be, and give them assistance. I'm actually working on this program right now where people could kind of adopt certain gardens or, the end beds
That was the reason why I moved into the neighborhood. Those malls that you're talking about were the most beautiful things that were so well kept and manicured in this area of Harlem, in this community.
Oh, I'm just saying that other people have their hands up again
Right.
too, yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, we need to chime in. Heather.
And I'm just wondering, how is the decision made as to what exactly is planted in the mall areas?
It's,
And whether or not there can be some kind of inclusivity or community input when it comes to what's planted.
right, I mean, I would need, if you can suggest to me, people, to connect with these, I mean, right now what we're doing is an, sort of a native plant palette. I like it, but honestly, yeah, it might not be for everybody.
So
So,
you're
yeah.
kind of suggesting maybe like a community focus group to talk about what to plant? Based on what's to be of native species?
I mean, I would suggest that you come up with a weekend where there's gonna be a meeting, flyer the crap out of, you know, the entire neighborhood and and try to get as many people in the room at one time outside of the community board meeting. That's what I would do.
Know your community.
And like, get everybody together.
Got it.
And the one constant that Savannah makes is that community is more than us picking up trash. We can do so much more than that.
And have been doing.
Even though it's important.
Yeah.
In maintenance.
Did I
but-
say that?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Just on your focus.
No, well, it's all over the malls, and so what my focus is because all of them, no matter where you are. 73rd, 268th, every morning there is garbage.
But see, that's not what I'm trying to
But
explain.
but that's the thing, I wanna solve that
It's New York.
first, you know? Just because I feel like you could put in a ton of plants that just, it's not gonna look great if it's
So,
not.
I think this needs to be a side
No, I know- I know-
Yeah,
conversation.
so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get pressed for time.
Okay,
But,
Can I add
there's,
one thing?
sure.
So just one thing, it has nothing to do with the malls, but, please, look at what is currently planted. And if you can figure out how long ago it was planted. At Riverbank, when Riverbank was created, they put in some of the most high-end plantings, some of them from France. They have put rose bushes in, and when Riverbank did their improvements, they just ripped all of that stuff out and threw it away, like rose bushes that were 40 years old. They were from France. Some of them still had the tag hanging on them. I know because I took one home that got thrown away and it's planted at my mom's house because it's a super expensive rose bush. But just catalog and know what you have before you toss it.
So Broadway malls will be in proximity, so I think there'll be a lot of opportunity to, have follow-up conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I don't think you would mind if folks drop by, right? To the
Not at
office?
all.
Yeah.
No, I'll leave
I'm sorry.
the intersection and Rutgers section.
Church of the Intercession at 155th and Broadway.
Oh.
All right. How much more time do you?
I mean, it's it.
All right.
Yeah. Here's my contact. Yeah, reach out.
Josh.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm just hiding, sorry, I'm attached to the wall because my computer doesn't have a good battery. I want to say that I appreciate, what the Broadway malls are for a long time. I appreciate everyone who has tried to care for them in some sense. They have a physical beauty, but they have a social beauty as well. And I think that we need to think about what the goal of those spaces are. Because I think they have both. And I invite either tonight or maybe at a follow-up, if you wanna think about, cause I understand you're new to this organization, right? Probably.
About a year.
Okay, yeah, well, that's very new.
Yeah,
No
yes,
offense, but that's very new, you know,
Still
for people who've been
getting-
living in this neighborhood for a long time,
Yeah.
that's, and using and, watching the people use those spaces. What is the vision for what those spaces are. That's my.
That's inclusive.
What is the vision for what those spaces are? Because it can serve several different purposes. But I know there's a lot of people who use that space. It's open public space. And I think it's important for that. I've had a lot of conversations in those malls.
Yes.
You know?
So just to speed things up, you guys have an open house on the 14th? I forget what it is, but I'll get the information.
And your name is again?
Ian.
Ian?
Yeah. So they're having an open house at the church on the 14th, and everyone can drop in. I'll send them a card to you, 'cause I just received it. And, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I'll finish that off by saying, I have a lot of learning to do.
That's not a bad way to finish.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a great place to start.
yeah.
But I spent time also with Andrew, that's the executive director, and I think they are incredibly receptive to hearing what the community has to say, and they talk about social programming, so there's a lot more to come.
And you might come to the full community board meeting during public session, and you only have 3 minutes, but just say hi, who you are, and that you're there, and
Great idea.
give your email, phone number, and people can talk to you.
Yeah.
Cause there'll be a lot, I mean, this is actually a very big meeting, but it'll be a lot more people.
We get ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Thanks so much for coming in. Thank you.
Yeah, and you didn't need a full.
Does anyone need to see
The one,
your
you didn't need one,
proposal?
that was fine. Then the one.
It's the way
You have to take shots.
Sorry.
It for me, it wasn't that bad.
I sent it to you, but that's a hand. I sent it Okay, anyone else?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, you got it, it's a road show. Yes, please.
Good evening,
Thank you.
everyone. Good evening.
I'll give you a call. That's great. So I'll drop by and see you guys. Okay.
Okay, and we have Peter with me as well, Peter Miller.
Hello.
Okay, good, you can be seen. So I'm the executive. Hi, I'm the executive director of the West Harlem Art Fund, and we were very glad to present Harlem Sculpture Gardens this year, which was very successful. We presented in Morningside, St. Nicholas, Jackie Robinson Park, and Montefiore Park. 20 sculptures that we presented, plus we partnered with City College with 3 additional sculptures on their property. We were asked to pick up Mr. Hunt's sculpture on 125th Street and Morningside Avenue. He recently passed away. He was actually working on President Obama's sculpture for his library. Yeah, he died last year in December, very peacefully. And then I said, well, if we pick up Mr. Hunt, then we can pick up the Allison Czar sculpture and then the Frederick Douglass Circle. So we had like a total of 26 sculptures.
Where was Mr. Hunt? Did he live in our neighborhood?
No, in Chicago.
Oh, in
He's
Chicago.
belonged in the city of Chicago.
But we're gonna have a piece of him here?
Well, the big piece on 125th and Morningside Avenue. Of the Harlem Hybrid is Mr. Hunt's sculpture. So City Parks asked me if I could pick that up, which I said, naturally, Mr. Hunt, I know. And then he passed away just before, so it was very successful. We got a lot of press, we got a lot of feedback from the community. They love the sculptures, and so we're planning for 2025. I'm coming tonight with Peter, where we're gonna present to you one installation early. That's Place of the Rushes, because it's gonna take us a long time to fabricate. This is a collaboration between Peter, organization, Palette Architecture, myself, and West Harlem Art Fund. It's the first time I'm actually gonna be a conceptual artist, because it was my concept from something I saw in Italy, which I thought was spectacular. So I'm gonna let Peter present to you Place of the Rushes.
Okay. Terrific. Thanks, Savannah.
As she mentioned, this is a collaborative project between myself, the West Harlem Arts Fund, Savannah specifically, artist Moana Numetolo, and engineer James Richardson. So this piece is really specific to Morningside Park. This park, particularly the basin area, has been referred to by the indigenous people as the place of the rushes. They grow naturally there, right, in the basin. And rushes are a critical component within the basket making tradition. So in this way, the natural landscape of this area has spurred generations of creative works, and it has a strong connection between the tradition of craftsmanship and this specific place. So the proposal that we're putting forward is sort of a contemporary perspective on how woven crafts can reflect a particular landscape and location. So this is, everyone can see the screen, I hope. This is artistic rendering of the piece. As you can see here, it's a large bust of a young girl, and it's formed using woven strips of aluminum. Each piece is hand folded to create a wireframe that generates the figure. And then within that wireframe, smaller infill panels are used to express the surface of the face. So as I mentioned, this is a collaboration between myself. I'm an architect. I won't give you my whole bio. I won't take up your time with that. But I have a history of doing sculptures of this particular type of folded metal. Dr. James Richardson is an engineer who's helping us make sure that it's stable and that it's, can be installed in a way that won't damage the park. Moana is an artist that's collaborating with us. She has a long history of doing pieces, sculptures, and murals, and also performance pieces as well. And then Savannah, which I assume many of the people in the room already know, is also involved. This is a detail of a piece that I installed in the park this last year, so you can get sort of a feeling of how the piece goes together and sort of, the bright colors and the feeling of it. The piece that we're proposing this year, as I mentioned, it's inspired by local traditions of basket making. It draws parallels with the traditions using a system of warp and weft to create three-dimensional structure, in this case, the face of a young woman. The subject is not meant to reflect a particular person or group, rather it's an amalgamation of many generations who have lived in this area and around this land. And the figure symbolizes the vitality of each group has brought to this particular neighborhood. This slide gives you a sense of the scale of the piece. So, it's larger than a single individual. It's like 8.5 feet tall, about 7 feet wide. As I mentioned, the wireframe is infilled with 3D printed panels, and they go within this metal wireframe that's made of folded aluminum strips, a weft piece that connects the pieces together, and a warp which makes a polygon shape. The piece is made of a limited set of polygons and a limited set of infill panels. Those infill panels are 3D printed and have a variety of symbols that reflect the area's natural flora and fauna. So they have, each of the panels has a varying degree of transparency to it, which allows for the face's surface to shift in tone, enhancing the expression of the face and adding depth to the piece. So those panels and the wireframe will be crafted using volunteers and artists to make the pieces and assemble them. And hopefully Savannah can talk a little bit more about that. Each segment will be assembled separately and can then be combined together into the final piece, kind of in the way that a quilt is made. Sort of segments are made individually and then put together. This is just some images of mock-ups that we've done demonstrating how it's going to be made and that it can be fabricated and that we can use it to do the engineering. James, our engineer, is currently working with this physical model that we have here on the left to ensure stability and safe installation. So I will pass it back to Savannah.
Sure. What was the inspiration behind the use of color?
Oh, we went through a number of colors, to try to, where we finally came up with this, which is kind of neutral. But what's also great is, if you see to the right, we're gonna use these 3D printed, filters.
Right.
And that's what's gonna really make it special, so you can actually see it better. As opposed, because we were looking at orange, we were looking at red, we were looking at yellow. But here, it makes it a little bit easier so that you can see.
It gives more of an illumination.
Well, you can see the details, because you're seeing the filters, have all those different ornamentations that deal with the natural environment of what it used to be before it became, like Morningside.
Adds to the experience.
Right, add to it, so you can look at it more in detail.
More dimension. That's very.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were into it like I am. This is very interesting.
This is New York Times,
This is
baby.
great.
Really? This is New York Times.
I mean,
Yes.
wow.
I thought someone had a question. Oh, I thought someone had a question.
Well, I'm also.
I had a question,
Yes.
Are you responsible for the painting of the, what they're called, at the heart, right next to the, CUNY, right next to CUNY, there's that Harlem, the, the water station, that's been changed to a art, to something else.
The water pump station,
Yeah,
what
the
was that
water pump
called? Yeah, it's like 135 in Convent
No,
Avenue.
I'm not
Yeah.
responsible.
Okay,
They
okay.
painted them, I don't know who did that.
Yeah.
The pipes.
Yeah,
the
now I
pipes are
know,
all-
near Aaron Davis, Davis Hall, yeah.
Oh,
No,
I don't know
no,
who
I'm
did
not.
that.
Oh, yeah.
No one knows about it.
No, I
It's
don't.
all of a sudden, it just appeared. As I walked by there.
Graffiti style.
Will the pieces reflect off the sun?
Well, we hope, because it's right there by the pond, and so you'll have the reflection hitting on the works too. So it'll offer, these different layers and dimensions for people.
That was the purpose of the location.
Well, we were trying, one, because it's dealing with the narrative. That area was called Muscata, means place of the rushes. So we wanted to be in a prominent space where it was large enough to handle it, because it is pretty big. And that's a very good location. And places of the rushes, Muscata means flatlands. So we wanted to make it where it was like on a flat land, so people could understand those narratives.
You already have if things go well, like a target date of when?
May 2nd.
May 2nd? Okay, and then we can confer later. I don't know if you're already thinking about some kind of like opening celebration or something.
We did that this year. This year, when we opened on May 2nd too. And we had Kobe Kennedy, the artist, do a walkthrough with the deputy borough president. It was well attended. And we walked through Morningside Park, because we had like 8 sculptures in Morningside Park, and it went very well. So we're talking about, some sort of land acknowledgement, but I just don't want the traditional land acknowledgement, something that's a little bit more meaningful than just to say the land belonged to the Lenape people, but something a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah, so I was just saying that for us friends at Morningside Park, we certainly don't want to steal your thunder, but maybe as it gets closer, we can coordinate so that if we can, as for your inauguration, so we can.
And how long will it stay up?
So, 6 months. This is not the only sculpture. Already I've presented to Parks 23 sculptures, and we're still not finished. By the time we finish, we'll be back here in January and February. It'll probably be a total of 30. And we're doing something very special this year, which I shared with Heather. This year, a lot of people wanted to sit by the sculptures. They wanted to lay by them. And so we're adding design elements, and we're fabricating them ourselves. and we just finished our first bench last weekend.
Wow.
So I'm very excited about that.
You know, I find your art so intriguing. Like, for instance, Peter, if you went back go back a slide that shows the sculpt, the weaving of that, of the rushes on the headpiece.
This here? Yeah. This slide?
No, it's like it's.
She wants to see like towards the end.
This,
Okay.
these?
Yeah, she liked that one.
That.
Yeah.
I have some with indigenous too. That weaving, how much research, you must have done a lot of research within this
Well,
indigenous
Peter,
people to get that weave.
I asked Peter if we could do it because when I saw what he did with tetrahedral antisphere, I thought it would work because I saw what they did in Italy. In Italy, another French artist did a bust on a prison fence. And it was so stunning where they scanned the faces of prisoners and prison guards. I thought maybe we could do something similar here. So that's how it all came about. But I wanted it to be respectful of the history of the area and thought if we could have an indigenous person there. And Peter said, I think we can do it. And so that's how it started off.
That is excellent. Absolutely.
Like QR, what is it,
QR
QR codes or information.
All right, so we got bum rush this year. I normally, I get press on a regular basis, but like you get it for a couple of weeks. We got press steadily for 5 months. It was overwhelming. So I'm trying to gear up this year, and we did have an app and we did share that, but we're trying to go a little bit earlier because we don't know what's gonna happen. We got on CBS 3 separate times. I mean, it was just insane. We believe we're gonna get slammed for this piece alone, a lot of press. So we're trying to prepare that. We're trying to also get artists involved. So we're gonna start offering some workshops for artists who normally do 2-dimensional art, but never thought of doing 3-dimensional art. So we're starting January 15 with the structural engineer on showing artists how to do concrete footing, concrete bases. We're bringing in artists to talk about land art. So therefore, that's less expensive, inclusive of nature, because we're willing to accept a few more proposals to give more artists uptown, artists of color an opportunity who may never have thought about doing it before, but giving them a chance. So we're trying to blend things, so we're giving people opportunity. Peter's getting the aluminum. We're trying, hopefully these tariffs don't give us a problem, and have artists help us with the fabrication. I have a workspace where we can do this and people can actually physically help us. Artists, people in the neighborhood who would like to participate, making this participatory.
And the history of the land is so important, and for people to have that history and understand, you know, how these art pieces are symbolic for people and the history of education.
That is a beautiful situation.
And just something else, I mean, this has been on our plate for a while, somehow trying to, you know, putting some kind of permanent art structure or piece inside, especially Morningside Park. We've been for years, now trying to figure out a way to honor the 1968 gymnasium protest there with some type of marker. And, the Parks Department wants, you know, they want to get away from plaques, you know, but something that can physically be, you know, created that becomes a part of the park itself, instead of just the typical flag. So this type of art seems to be moving in that direction. Where, you know, history is reflected in the pieces that you're exhibiting.
Yes, this is I want a piece of that in my house.
Really want your knowledge, so, you know, to try to move this and other projects. The parts. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
This is absolutely excellent.
Thank
Sure.
you. We're hoping tonight we could get like a letter of support, so that way we could start working on the fabrication of it. And, cause it will take us months to get this all done, orchestrating the people that will need, that we would like to be involved in this, to make this participatory. Does anyone have any more questions?
Yes.
Either fund?
Any questions from anyone online?
So you're not asking for just a letter of support to do that. So can we make a motion on it?
And it's just for this piece.
For this one, we have to come back. We got a lot of pieces to share.
Yes.
Can I make a motion, if I may, to support this piece? It's fabulous. I make a motion that we write a letter of support for, Miss Savannah Bailey McLean. Is that correct? And what is it, Morningside work? Somebody second.
I second.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Savannah.
Thank you.
So, do we have a vote on that?
Unanimous consent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Unanimous consent.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Excellent work.
I can't hear you.
Your letter of support, Thomas, sent it to.
No, not really.
Thank you. So we're gonna make sure we write it real nice.
All right, thank you. So.
By the way, I don't know how to get back the host tools or stop sharing, so if you want to take it off the screen, you can.
Oh.
You just have to stop sharing it, Peter.
Presenting.
Yeah, I just don't see that button.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Oh, here we go. I got it. All right.
I see your nails.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a little bit more of an agenda to go. So the other new item,
Thank you.
thank you. The other new item was the assignment of task and responsibilities related to minutes and action items.
So can we do this since it's house cleaning, as a closed session and release the people that are? on
Yeah,
the
I think that would be appropriate. Yeah, so thank you, sure, absolutely.
Do we have anything else before we do that? We do have old business.
I think this, do you guys think this is gonna be,
We have,
yeah, is this more likely than 5 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, Lord,
Oh,
all right.
so they're asking for us to
Uh-oh.
leave, right?
Well, yeah, you can.
we have 15 minutes
Yeah,
left. We
15
still have to
minutes.
get through old business.
Okay.
Yeah, what's old business? Let's go. What's first?
This is a permit application and violation list that, you know, does anyone have any?
It was just a permit.
I have no
There was no violation.
Is this the one that you brought up?
There is nothing on the list.
There's nothing on there?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, the issue is that a proposed resolution was drawn up by Felipe, I forget his last name.
Castillo?
Yes. And he brought it up to the transportation, not the transportation, the RUS, the Uniform Services and Transportation Committee. And he said that, he sent it to you guys about, and you wouldn't do anything. You didn't think it was appropriate, I forget what the rationale was.
Yeah, that was discussed, it's regarding the pathway, alternate pathway and all that, yeah. So it really goes to UST, which needs to, you know, it's part of the Cherry Walk.
So you
project.
should kick it back to here, is that what
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying?
part of the Cherry Walk,
Okay.
and it goes to Matt and to, Wesley.
Yeah.
And that project is almost done, so going through all those gyrations and the machinations may, and to be frank, it
But
really.
the project is not just for that. It's not just for charity.
You know, he's talking about the alternate detour. He proposed an alternate.
Detour. It's not. It
So-
would be useful permanently.
Yeah, okay, so then, this comes to January as an agenda item. You know, we can talk more about it.
Was there a presentation at the last meeting?
No, he just kind of kicked around this. Yeah.
January 2nd or January 8th is a preferred date.
I think that's gonna be on the 8th, if you want the second.
Is there anybody that can't?
I'll second it.
No, if you want the second.
Oh, no, no.
Good night.
I thought you said.
Good night, Mike. Thank you.
Okay.
It looks like the eight. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Is there any way?
But I'm sorry, that question, that comment wasn't related to the LPC permits, right? That was a
No.
separate comment, am I correct?
New business.
Okay, sorry, just so I understand.
So are we saying release the folks that are in on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what, we didn't finish the business.
Okay.
So the
Wait,
people on
West-
Zoom can.
So-
Historic District,
And everybody was
Morningside
on there.
Heights.
Thanks.
Chin is not on.
Were we holding over the historic districts council letter, Liz?
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's what
decide-
Chris said
that's
until
later.
January.
Okay, and then we still have the code of national, revised letter, that has to come back to committee. So. And all the committee members receive that.
Did the letter go to LPC?
Which one?
The Coda, it already went to LPC.
It was voted on in general board, right?
Right.
Yes.
The original, the letter that we looked at the full board.
So now we're sending a second one?
She's sending the same, presentation.
No, the letter, so it's done.
The letter is done.
It's done.
It's done.
So if it's been sent, then I think it's a moot point.
It's
Yeah.
moved,
Thanks.
yes.
Yeah,
You just told me that it needed to come back to committee.
that's all, yeah.
If there was gonna be, if there was gonna be a revision.
The letter that is.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit, yeah, and that's why, I think there's
I
a,
sent the entire committee a copy, but I received some emails asking if we were gonna vote on it again.
To revise.
No, it's done.
it's done,
Yeah.
yeah.
I spoke to the people, she came out and spoke to the neighborhood, I just wanna add a point. And she spoke to the neighborhood, and I've got a lot of feedback, like this, she's not,
Okay,
affiliated, excuse me if I may finish my statement. She's not affiliated, she's not, combining or intertwining with the neighborhood in a way that she's being well received still. Because if it had been different, I would have reported it.
Somebody's asking to make an inquiry.
yeah. Are we set?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, I'm wondering if you can hear me clearly. My name is Mrs. Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in Hamilton Heights. I wasn't sure if you kind of went over this topic. I'm not sure if this is part of your topic in the meeting, but the garbage cans, the issue regarding the forced place garbage cans that are going to be installed. And I was just wondering, we're on 142nd Street. And we're being told that these garbage cans or these particular big cans for this large building that sits on Amsterdam Avenue between West 141st and West 142nd, that being their address is on Amsterdam Avenue, that these huge bins are going to be installed onto the or into the curb on 142nd Street, which I think is
Part of the containerization program?
It's not this committee.
It's not this committee.
not, okay, so it's not this committee, and this is something that you're not discussing at this time, right?
No,
No.
the recommendation would be for a general board probably.
Well, no,
No,
actually.
she can speak at UST, which will be held tomorrow.
Right.
That's tomorrow night, Thursday?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown, can you please put your email in the chat so I can forward you the agenda and information for tomorrow's meeting?
Sure.
And
Should I put the email, should I give it to you directly in the chat, or how should I give it to you? Just so.
Brown, what exactly is your question, your comment, or your complaint?
My issue is the installation, well, I have an issue with the whole program, but the installation of these garbage cans or these big bins to be installed onto or into the curb on West 142nd Street at the corner of Amsterdam Avenue. And that shouldn't be. If they're going to install any of these huge cans or these big bins, it should be installed on the street that's for the building in which the building is concerned. Because if there's a garbage problem, if there's a violation, the sanitation department gives a ticket for that building. You know, you can't give a ticket for garbage that's not in front of that building. And so it's not supposed to be on our block. It should be on Amsterdam Avenue. And this is a big deal because this is a large building and it's a city-run building, I believe. Or it's a part.
Understood.
My name is Yutha Prince. I'm the district manager.
Yeah.
If you could shoot me an email. April, can you share my email in the chat?
Yeah.
If you can send me an email, because not only are you invited to report to UST, you can report it to me as well. And I'll speak to the sanitation superintendent.
Okay, so the email, you're gonna put your email in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you said tomorrow there's a meeting that would better also be
With
suited
the
for me.
Uniform Services Transportation Committee, they would govern this issue, and I will speak to the superintendent as well.
Okay, and that meeting is on the calendar for Community Board 9?
Yes, it is.
And it's also a hybrid meeting? I can do it vis-a-vis?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and your
Just
name
like
again?
during this meeting, you'll be able to sit in that meeting.
Use the prints, I put it in the chat.
Okay, very well. Well, thank you. This is a big issue for us, and I think that we have to kind of do something about it.
Did you say 142nd in Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Release?
Yeah, that's a big problem. We're private homes on that block. And we don't mind having buildings either. It doesn't matter, but it's just that if the address of the property is that's getting these huge cans being installed, it should be on that particular avenue. And in fact, we had a garbage problem with that building years ago that we rectified as, you know, just as dwellers in that block. They were putting their trash out on our block, and sanitation came there and gave them several tickets and said, no, your trash belongs in front of your address so that we can
So
give.
that's the back of the building that you're speaking about? Is that the
That's
back
the
of the building?
Well, it's considered, it's considered the side, but I wanted,
Yeah, I know.
It's-
it's
the-
Same problem on 141 too.
it's considered the side of the building, but the truth is they have an alleyway back there where they probably bring
It's
some of their
heritage.
trash
It's
out.
Heritage Health, yeah.
Yeah, it's heritage, correct, but they cannot do that. These things
Right.
need to be installed in front of their building, in front of their, you know, on the street that the building address is, so that, you know, in the event of violations, they can take care of it. So anyway,
Yeah.
I will bring this up and go into detail tomorrow. I don't want to take up any of your time, but this is a big issue, you know, cleanliness, and it's just like our bodies. If we don't get things cleaned out and cleared out, we're gonna have a problem here. I'm against all of this new trash incentive, whatever. I have a big problem. We should hire more people to clean our city as opposed to giving contracts to private people to buy garbage cans, which is crazy.
All right,
So,
thank you.
anyway.
So we're gonna release, all
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Can we just close it out?
So
Can we just
adjourning
close
the
it out?
meeting?
Yeah,
All right.
so
Meeting adjourned at 8.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh, wait. We have
Well,
to make a
actually,
motion to-
yeah, motion to release the public?
Or,
What is that in the chat?
I put that in the chat. That was me. Yeah, there's nobody else in the chat.
All right. So we're gonna release the public for, hopefully 5 minutes of housekeeping.
Alright. Goodbye, public. Have a good night.
Good night.
Happy Halloween. Closed session.